and leave what doesn't. It's not going to resonate for everybody because it is based on collective energy and it is a general reading. So in terms of the tarot cards that came out today, I have three, and I have, first of all, it's the Eight of Swords in reverse. Now in this card, and I think this is depicted really well, we've got in the upright position, we have that traditional image of the Eight of Swords where the person is bound, but because it's air energy, it's all from thoughts, it's all in your mind. Beautifully depicted here with the birds as well. I love this deck because the swords energy is displayed by birds, and it just gives a whole deeper meaning to, you know, that sense of our thoughts, our mind, and how that can entrap us sometimes. And certainly in this card, when it's in the upright position, she is bound. She is bound by her thoughts. She's blindfolded, but ultimately she can free herself. This is a reflection in the mirror, and it's not her actual being. She's sat down there. Now in the reverse, it's obviously very much so focusing on the real character and not the reflection. So there is that sense of recognizing that she is free from those ties, but ultimately she could be giving that sense of victim mentality where she feels bound to those ties. She is free from them, she knows she's free from them, but there's a sense of clinging to them. And often we can cling to our emotions, we can cling to past emotional hurt because it feels safe, when actually it's doing us more harm. But it can give us that feeling that it's more safe. It's almost like a comfort blanket, and it can then prevent us from moving on to what we want to move on to in our lives. So this is very much speaking to me of that sense of, you know, she's wanting to free herself, but at the same time she's taking comfort in the fact that she still has those ties. She's almost still shackled to that pain. The next card that came out was the Knight of Cups in the reverse. So in the upright, this Knight of Cups, messenger of love, traditional image that we have of what we would view as a message of love. We've got this guy that's just come off a horse, very romantic, holding the flowers. And in the upright, in the reverse, it would suggest that there's no message of love coming in, but actually it again, it speaks to me of not being open to receiving this message of love, or just not being open to receive love into your life. And it could very well be because of still feeling tied to some sort of pain. How can I possibly let new love into my life when I still have this pain that I'm holding on to, which maybe I know that I'm holding on to it, or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't trust because I've been hurt before, so I can't possibly allow new love into my life. The third card that came out was the Queen of Pentacles in the upright. Now she is very abundant in her wealth, in her status. She's very grounded. She has that motherly energy. She's sat in nature, holding the coin, very confident, very self-assured. There is generosity to the Queen of Pentacles as well. And this reminds us of abundance that's all around us, and not only in terms of pentacles, not only in terms of financial abundance, but that abundance in love, that abundance in health, that abundance in our connections, our friendships. And you know, it's positive because it's in the upright, but I feel that with these other cards, that it's sort of, you know, giving that message that, you know, freeing ourselves from any pain that we feel obliged to shackle ourselves to for whatever reason, allowing ourselves to actually be open to receiving love into our lives, would then be able to bring in this abundance into our life. And as I say, abundance in many ways, but just generally feeling grounded. Here, maybe not so grounded, and certainly here, you know, it's not such a grounded feeling tied to pain. It's not such a grounded feeling, not feeling able to let love into our lives. But here is a grounded feeling, and that is where we could get to. To get to that point, there must be some trust involved. So this card came out, and it is very, very apt, because when we can trust that there is love around us, we can trust ourselves to release any pain that we're holding on to, even though it might be challenging, even though it might be uncomfortable. trusting that the end result is going to be better for us. We're going to feel free of that pain, and we can move on then to enjoy that abundance in our lives, to allow love to come into our lives. Trust is very important, and having faith, certainly faith in ourselves, faith in others around us, and trusting in the universe, trusting in the divine, to know that we have got support, we have got protection around us, and we are being guided all the time. Trust our intuition in terms of how we feel. That is our inner compass and our connection to the divine. And this is a beautiful card that came out of the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck, Purification. A very positive card. And also what I notice here is there's beauty that can emerge from this rain that's coming down here. But, you know, any storms, anything that we're going through, there is beauty that can emerge from that. And ultimately, we need to go through this purification, this detoxing almost energetically, purging of emotions. We do need to go through that in order to bring out the beauty, in order to really know our self-worth, to know where we're going in our lives, to know what direction we're taking, and to shine our lights bright. But often that comes after a period of, you know, having to go through some pain, but ultimately releasing ourselves from, you know, feeling shackled to pain, to bring this purification, to bring this new sense of abundance in our lives, and ultimately get to that place of being grounded in our energy, knowing our worth, knowing our values, and knowing that we can shine brightly amidst everything else that's gone on in the past. That's brought us to where we are. It's made us stronger in terms of that. And finally, from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck, 2 cards came out. So we have prayer and we have impatience. So prayer, with this being yellow card, representative of the solar plexus, also standing in our power, again, allowing our power and our values to stand tall, but having that still time to really reflect on what we want to do, and to move into that with trust and with faith in the divine, and recognizing that even though this card says impatience, it's ultimately telling us to be patient. And this is blue, so representative of the throat chakra, communicating where we need to, communicating things that we want, but not allowing any impatience to impede us, not allowing any impatience, if I can find the card again, to put us back into that position where we're feeling bound to our pain because we're impatient. We want to move things along, but it's not happening at the speed we want it to happen. So therefore we're trapping ourselves to pain because we tell ourselves the story that this is always going to be the case. This is always going to happen because I've had pain in the past. Why is it not happening quicker than I want? But it is having that trust. It is having that trust and allowing ourselves to go through this period of purification where we need to, in order to allow us to flip this from the reverse to the upright, to allow love into our life in whatever form, to allow abundance into our life in whatever form, and to truly do that through trust, prayer, stillness, and faith in the universe, but also having that patience as well. So I trust that message finds you well on this new moon. New moons are great for intention setting and manifestation, and we have got new moon in Virgo, so it is an earth sign, and that does remind us of our values, our core values, and really stepping forward into what we want to achieve in our lives. But having that recognition that often we need to take responsibility for where we are, where we've come from. We can acknowledge that, we can be grateful, and you know, we can release anything that's not serving us, but to move into our intention setting and our manifestations of what we really want to achieve, and to free ourselves from those self-imposed shackles or perceived shackles to emotional pain and hurt, to allow ourselves to be open to the divine, allow ourselves to be open to love in many ways, allow ourselves to be open to abundance, to get us into that status of purification where we're really shining our light bright. We've come from this place, we are now emerging as this beautiful sunflower, and just beaming out that light, reflecting that light back to us as well, all with unconditional love. And I wish you well. So I wish you well for this new moon and for the week ahead. Until the next video, take care and God bless.